It seems Steve Harvey is trying to deal with his own family feud because it was reported that his blended family is just one big mess, and the comedian's biological kids, twins Brandi and Karli, Broderick and Wynton, accused their stepmom, Marjorie, and stepsister Lori in trapping their father and basically distancing him from them. Well, it seems like the Harvey clan of 7 children from 3 different wives is experiencing serious turmoil, so let's dig into the details. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. I keep my eyes on the most scandalous events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. It seems like popular TV host and comedian Steve Harvey has been going through a very tough time dealing with his family dynamic and tensions, and apparently his biological kids aren't happy to witness their father's attention shifting to the newest members of this big clan, Marjorie and Lori. Rumors have it that Steve kids accused these two in trapping their dad and deliberately distancing him from them. Well, when it comes to giving good family advice, you know that no one can do it better than Steve Harvey. But why do we always hear about problems in his own family then? It seems like Steve's wisdom doesn't work when it comes to his own kids because half of them is not happy of how he handles family dynamics. It has been speculated for quite a while now that Brandi, Karli, Broderick, and Wynton were jealous of the attention and love Lori, Steve's adopted daughter, get from their dad, but it seems like the problems run deeper than anyone thought. It's obvious that we see and hear about Lori more than about all other Steve's kids combined, but apparently this was the end of the story because biological children of the comedian got tired of such unfair treatment coming from their dad and revealed how Marjorie and Lori manipulated Steve and turned into a bad dad. And I guess even Steve generously giving all them money and covering all their needs were not enough to compensate the lack of father's love and attention, which all was devoted to Marjorie and Lori. In a recently revealed shocking details about what's happening behind the closed doors, it became known that while Steve's busy making money for all 7 kids and his current wife, it's Marjorie who is ruling the rooster on his behalf. The source said to Radar Online, he did the right thing adopting Marjorie's kids and loves them like his own, but there's a lot of dissension among the blended Harvey clan. Surely, when Steve was adopting Marjorie's kids, he never expected his family home turn into a scandalous TV show like the Kardashians, but this is what basically happened. And apparently, there's a lot of tension between Lori, who steals the spotlight every time she can, and Steve's biological kids Brandi, Karli, Broderick, and Wynton, who believe that their dad is obsessed with Lori and that's why he devotes more and more time talking about her and her high profile, and dealing with her problems. Although we can see a beautiful facade and a loving family of the photos, the reality is far from being ideal, and it seems sharing the attention between 7 kids is kind of frustrating for the famous talk show host. And according to his biological kids, while he basically neglected his previous families to focus on his career in the past, he is not even trying to compensate for the lost time, probably thinking that the grown-up kids don't need any parental love and affection. As his elder son Broderick confessed in 2019, I didn't really have my dad full-time to my life until I was 16. Meanwhile, while Steve's biological kids were basically growing up without father, Lori quickly became his favorite in the family because you can see the way Steve talks about her that she is his little princess and he would do anything to protect her. As people close to the family state, these two share a special bond, and although not being related by blood, they openly talk about everything, which may be hurtful for Karli, Brandi, Broderick, and Wynton, who spend most of their lives without father's attention. And apparently, nothing changed so far. As one insider revealed, Steve has his own parental methods when it comes to his elder kids, which are quite dubious if you ask me. As the source stated, his way of handling it has been to throw money at them, buy them gifts, or just go into another room to chomp on a cigar, but it's not working. Well, apparently, luxury and wealth are not everything these kids want from their dad. And while Steve doesn't seem to notice that he has other children except for Lori, the speculation that this was the carefully created plan of Marjorie and her daughter to push Lori into the limelight and turn her into a celebrity herself. With such a famous parent as Steve Harvey constantly talking about you on his show, it's no wonder that the whole world now knows her name. And also, we know so little about Lori's origins, yeah? I'm talking about the rumors of her real father's identity, but it seems like Lori doesn't even want to recognize another dad except for Steve, since she eagerly took his last name. Some even say that it was Marjorie's evil plan to turn her daughter into a socialite, and she has been working on building a bright future for her daughter since the very beginning. With Steve already known and loved by the entire country, it's way easier to introduce the girl and make her popular. Plus, Lori is one of the youngest, which certainly played its role because Steve finally felt he could be a protective father and help at least one of his children to enjoy his love. Many people find this favoritism unacceptable, saying that the comedian simply forgot about his other children and focused on the youngest and most vulnerable of them, even if she's not his biological child. As one person said, sounds like my father. He wasn't there for me at all, but always there and being the best father to his stepkids. And another person said, Steve has neglected his children and there is no excuse for it, period. Now, Lori gets the attention and she not even his biological. But for Steve, it all seems pretty normal. And I guess he just doesn't see a bigger picture because he is too busy and only listens to his wife, Marjorie, who is in control. And while Lori is being bathed in fatherly attention, protection, and love, others' children are basically strangers for him, or they can only appear on family photos. I guess it causes them a lot of pain seeing Lori stealing Steve's attention and being the only child he always talks about. I don't know if it was Marjorie's idea from the start, but Lori got a good peer from her dad. Meanwhile, we basically know nothing about any of Steve's other daughters, Karli and Brandi. And it may be truly hard for them to realize that his dad left them when they were kids to become rich and famous, and when he came back, his attention was devoted to a complete stranger who he treats better than any of them. As the comedian confessed, the twins fully acknowledged his sacrifice. He said, years later, they said to me, Dad, we didn't understand why you left us, but we know now you had to go. You didn't just belong to us. You belong to the world. I mean, now could be the time to catch up with them, but no, Steve is busy promoting Lori and explaining the details of her scandalous breakups to the media and dealing with her mess. Well, it's obvious that he never treated any of his other children as he treats his princess Lori, and there were even allegations of him beating his youngest son Wynton. And although all charges against him were dropped, this story seems quite shady. I bet nothing like this could ever happen to Lori, and no matter what mess she drags herself into, Steve is always on her side. And why wouldn't he be when both Marjorie and Lori seem to have cast a spell on him, so he could devote all his time and attention, and most of his money to them and not to other kids? We all know that Steve is head over heels in love with Marjorie, and has always been since the day he first saw her, and obviously she used his obsession with her as a way to manipulate him and ruin his relationship with other kids. As for Lori, the girl truly enjoys the position of her dad's little princess in the family and doesn't even hide it. Like in her infamous TikTok video, where she jokingly shares one of her favorite ways to be spoiled by Steve Ake using his money. She received massive backlash for that upload, and many people even accused Harvey of spending his entire time with Marjorie and Lori. Well, probably Steve feels it's too late to build a close relationship with his other kids, but it still doesn't mean that he has to show the world that he values Lori more than the rest of them. So it seems like the only thing Karli, Brady, and other children can do is to move on because their father is dancing to his wife's tune and tries to protect Lori from all the evil in the world. Many people are confident that Steve's behavior is at least disturbing because it may estrange his biological kids from him even more. One person commented, "It's sad to see how Steve's kids are still holding on to the hope of having a relationship with him when he has shown them time and time again exactly who he is." And another added, "I would be disturbed too if I was Steve's biological child. I have seen it all too often when men get married to another woman, they tend to disregard their other children from their previous relationships." Well, it seems like there's little hope for Steve's biological kids to get any ounce of love from their dad. He is fully absorbed by his celebrity daughter, Lori, and wife Marjorie. They have become his family, and between Lori's adventures and working, Steve obviously has no time for anyone else. And this is what makes his other kids angry and jealous. And what do you reckon? Is Lori actually getting special treatment from Steve, or are these empty accusations? And did Marjorie meant this to happen? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about Marjorie Harvey and the dirty secrets of her past. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon with a new portion of gossip about your favorite celebrities.